time is now 6 p.m. Our regular City Council meeting for September 28, 2021 is now in session. First on the agenda is Councilmember Scott will lead us with the opening prayer and the pledges of allegiance to the flags of the United States and the state of Texas.
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for the blessings of this day. Thank you that we get to live in America, in a land where freedom is so wonderful and the freedom that we hold so dear. Let us never take our freedom for granted. Thank you that we live in Schertz, and sometimes we forget to thank God for our growth because it is a blessing. So many places in the country are suffering because they don't have what we have here. And let us handle that growth in your honor, but let us not forget to count our growth a blessing. Thank you for our wonderful citizens of Schertz. Bless and protect them, and especially thank you for our first responders. Please send your heavenly angels to watch over them and their family. We thank you for our city managers and our staff and our awesome employees. Let us be good stewards of our resources. Give us the spirit of discernment. Give us wisdom and good judgment so we can make the best decisions. Let us be good stewards of our resources, dear Jesus, and bless and protect our country. Please put your spirit in our leaders and help them remember that we have all sworn to uphold the Constitution of the United States of America. Finally, bless us and prosper us and keep us in safety. And we ask that you place a hedge around us. In Jesus' name and for his sake, amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you, Councilmember Scott. Today we have several proclamations, and let me go right down here. And if Miss Beck, if you can join me up here, please.
In memory of Don Taylor. Whereas the City of Schertz honors Don Taylor as a beloved father, friend, and devoted public servant of 45 years, and whereas Don began what would become his lifelong career path in city government, working as a city manager for numerous cities in Oklahoma and Texas, among these Miami, Magnum, Stroud, Wharton, Tomball, Dickinson, Universal City, Aransas Pass, and Schertz. And whereas over the course of his life, Don belonged to several groups such as the Masons, Rotary Club, Lions Club, Texas City Municipal League, and multiple police organizations, he was the recipient of awards too numerous to mention, culminating with him receiving the Lifetime Achievement Award from the Texas City Management Association in 2010. And whereas Don was employed as City of Schertz City Manager from May 2005 to May 2011, and then the City of Schertz Chief of Police from June 2011 to his retirement from city government in July 2012. And whereas, as City Manager for the City of Schertz, Don was instrumental in seeing the city campus grow with the addition of the Civic Center, Administration Building, Fire Station 2, Public Works, the Recreation Center, Library, and the Kramer House. And whereas during Don's tenure with the City of Schertz, he oversaw numerous city projects, street and drainage projects, the natatorium, Main Street, animal adoption, Schertz soccer complex, and Schertz baseball fields that greatly improved the quality of life for the citizens of Schertz. And whereas Don represents the very best qualities of a public servant: understanding, kindness, compassion, love, and friendship, which were instrumental in shaping the City of Schertz to what it is today. Now, therefore, I, Ralph Gutierrez, Mayor, City of Schertz, Texas, do hereby proclaim September 28th, 2021, a day to honor Mr. Don Taylor's life and legacy, and I encourage citizens, family, and friends to join me in honoring his memory.
Thank you, Councilmember. Ms. Beck, would you like to say a few words?
Thank you, and I can assure you that on behalf of the Taylor family, they thank you. They unfortunately could not be here today, but I am honored to be here to accept this proclamation. This is now the second time that I have received a proclamation for two wonderful men in my life. So once again, on behalf of the Taylors, I know they're watching, so Ms. Taylor, all of his children, this is for him and for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
On behalf of the city, we'd like to present him with this coin too, for the family. And I also have one for you.
Oh, thank you so
Services.
very much. Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate you. Thank you very much, Council.
I think we want to
Thank
take
you.
a couple of photos here.
Oh, okay. All righty.
I just want to say that, you know, as the city manager, Don Taylor certainly had an impact on our city. He was the chief administrator, and for all the decisions that were made here by the previous council members, he oversaw the completion of numerous projects. And as a city, we appreciate all his contributions and the footprint he left on our city. Thank you so much. We'll move on. We have another proclamation. Let me see here. The World's Teachers Day. Yes, Ms. Councilmember Scott?
Yes. Schertz, Cibolo, Universal City Independent School District World Teachers Day, October 5, 2021. Whereas Schertz, Cibolo, Universal City Independent School District's future strength depends on providing a high-quality education to all students, and whereas teacher quality matters more to student achievement than any other school-related factor, and whereas teachers spend countless hours preparing lesson plans and supporting students, and whereas our Schertz, Cibolo, Universal City Independent School District teachers have demonstrated great resilience, adaptability, and creativity during the COVID-19 crisis, and whereas our community recognizes and supports its teachers in educating the children of this community, and whereas #TeachersCan is a statewide movement supported by more than 125 partnering businesses and organizations committed to elevating the teaching profession and honoring the critical role teachers play in the success of Texas. And now, therefore, let it be resolved that the Schertz, Cibolo, Universal City Independent School District Board of Trustees joins #TeachersCan and its partnering entities across Texas in celebrating World Teachers Day and proclaims October 5, 2021 to be SCUCISD World Teachers Day. And be it further resolved that the Schertz, Cibolo, Universal City Independent School District Board of Trustees encourages members of our community to personally express appreciation to our teachers and display a light blue ribbon outside your homes or businesses the week of October 5, 2021 as a symbol of support for our Schertz, Cibolo, Universal City Independent District educators.
Thank you. Mr. Perkins, you'd like to say a couple words?
So they told me I have to keep it under 15 minutes. I don't want to repeat everything we just heard, but bear in mind our teachers are working harder than they ever have, and I'm honored to receive this and take it back to the district and share it with the teachers. Thank you, Rob.
You know, our teachers, they fill a complex role in our schools. Not only are they educators, but they're mentors and role models. They also have specific skills, the knowledge, the skills that they have, you know, good listeners, and of course, a lot of patience. Our gratitude to the teachers for helping shape our young Americans. Thanks. Right, we have another proclamation. I think this one's Fire Prevention Week. Councilmember Whitaker? Yes.
Fire Prevention Week.
Let me call, who's representing? Chief Long, sorry. Chief.
Fire Prevention Week, October 3 through 9, 2021. Whereas Fire Prevention Week commemorates the Great Chicago Fire of 1871, which killed more than 250 persons, left 100,000 homeless, and destroyed more than 17,400 buildings, and serves as the motivating force to bring the people of Schertz together to build a safer community. And whereas the City of Schertz is committed to ensuring the safety and security of all those living in and visiting our city. And whereas home fires killed more than 2,770 people in the United States in 2019, according to the National Fire Protection Association, and fire departments in the United States responded to 339,500 home fires. And whereas smoke alarms sense smoke well before you can, alerting you to danger in the event of fire, in which you may have as little as 2 minutes to escape safely. And whereas residents who have planned and practiced a home fire escape plan are more prepared and will therefore be more likely to survive a fire. And whereas working smoke alarms cut the risk of dying in reported home fires in half. And whereas the 2021 Fire Prevention Week theme, Learn the Sounds of Fire Safety, effectively serves to remind us it is important to learn the different sounds of smoke and carbon monoxide alarms. Therefore, I, Ralph Gutierrez, Mayor of the City of Schertz, do hereby proclaim October 3 through 9, 2021 as Fire Prevention Week throughout this city. And I urge all the people of Schertz to begin checking their kitchens for fire hazards and using safe cooking practices during Fire Prevention Week 2021, and to support the many public safety activities and efforts of Schertz Fire Rescue.
Chief, would you like to say a couple words, Chief?
Yeah, please. Okay, thank you for reading all that, and again, we just, we'll be going out into the schools finally, so I know we're excited to get back into seeing the kids this year in the schools, so that's underway right now. Scheduling for that's going on, so we call it Fire Prevention Month in the fire department because we have so many schools to get out to, and lots of new ones still being built. So again, thank you for that, and we just encourage everybody to check the batteries, check the smoke alarms, and learn the sounds of the detectors and things like that this year. So thank you.
I think there's one important message: safety. That's all we need to say is practice safety. Thank you. Thanks again, Chief. All right, we have another proclamation. This is a Chamber of Commerce Week. Ms. Titterington, please, if you can join me up here. And Councilmember Scagliola will read the proclamation.
It is my honor to read this proclamation recognizing Texas Chamber of Commerce Week. Whereas more than 500 local chambers of commerce in Texas distinguish themselves as a voice of business in our state, and whereas our Schertz, Cibolo, Selma area Chamber of Commerce works with businesses, nonprofits, banks, and merchants to advance the civic, economic, professional, and cultural life of our city, and whereas the Chamber, founded in 2005, has contributed to the civic and economic life of Schertz for the past 15 years. And whereas the business community, represented through the Chamber, has been a driving force in fostering enhanced educational opportunities, infrastructure improvements, leadership development, the creation of jobs, and a positive vision of the future. And whereas this Chamber encourages the growth of existing services and commercial firms and encourages new businesses to locate in our community, acting as a liaison with the city, schools, and the business community. And whereas the Chamber has been a strong partner with the City of Schertz and endeavors to promote and develop our local business community, now therefore Ralph Gutierrez, as the mayor of Schertz, proclaims the week of October 18th through the 22nd as Chamber of Commerce Week and acknowledges the numerous benefits and services that the Chamber provides to the businesses and residents of our community. Signed this 28th day of September 2021.
Thank you, Madam. You'd like to say a couple words?
Thank you so much to the City of Schertz. This is our home, this is our home base, and we're just so proud to be able to be a good partner to you, to be a good partner to the community, and assist in any way that we can to promote good business, and just thank you all very much. Appreciate it.
I'd just like to say what a great partnership we have with the Chamber. You know, connecting businesses with our civic leaders, it's a great asset, and it really does make an impact in our community. And can't say enough, thank you for all the work that you do, all the hard work that's placed into it, and the recognition, I mean, that you brought to our city. Thank you. We have one more proclamation. Councilmember Hayward will read the next proclamation on National Manufacturing Day, and if I can have the representatives.
I'm delighted to be able to read this. Proclamation honoring National Manufacturing Day 2021. Whereas National Manufacturing Day is a celebration of modern manufacturing aimed at inspiring the next generation of manufacturers, and whereas the Schertz, Texas is the home of more than 35 manufacturing companies, and whereas the manufacturing sector provides jobs such as assembly workers, carpenters, computer programmers, designers, engineers, machine operators, metal fabricators, production workers, welders, and many other specialists, and whereas Schertz manufacturers produce artisanal cheese, assembly systems, automotive parts, boiler systems, bulletproof doors, concrete products, custom millworks, engine blocks, eyeglasses, fabricated metal products, lubricating oils, mobile command centers, packaging, protective coating, screen media, signs, textiles, and more. And whereas the City of Schertz is dedicated to strengthening and developing manufacturing through a robust economic development program in partnership with workforce development partners such as the Schertz Cibolo Universal Independent School District, career and technology education programs. And whereas the City of Schertz recognizes the contribution manufacturing industry has made in our community by engaging with us and our economic development allies. Now, therefore, Ralph Gutierrez, the mayor of the city of Schertz, does hereby proclaim October 1st, 2021 as National Manufacturing Day and reaffirm this city's support and commitment to manufacturing. Let us celebrate and remind all individuals of the importance of this celebration, which supports, expands, and improves opportunities and our quality of life.
Thank you, Mayor and Council, for taking a moment to recognize the manufacturing industry. October 1st is a day that will really pump up the local manufacturers and talk about how much we appreciate this industry, not only in our country and our state, but locally. You'll notice the mention of really important workforce development partners like our local school district and
More presentation, a plaque presentation.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Dr. Brown, we are joined this evening from the Office of Institutional Advancement at the UT Health San Antonio MD Anderson Cancer Center, the Mays Cancer Center, Ms. Simone Lewis, and she's the Director of Development, and Ms. Janet Goebel, who is the Development Coordinator. We have partnered with this group, the staff from UT Health, CTRC, now the Mays Cancer Center, in our 5K promotion that we do, holding the 5K and raising funds for cancer research. On the screen, you've got a few photos from our last event that we had that was in person. Last year, this 2021 was a virtual event that we held, and we are very hopeful that we're going to be able to get back to our in-person celebrations as well, too. But with the presentation, Ms. Simone?
Thank you guys for having us. We are so grateful to the City of Schertz for all that you guys have done for the Mays Cancer Center and the UT health system. I think over the last 10 years, you guys have helped us to raise almost $190,000 for cancer patients in our community. So again, we thank you. And with that, we would like to present this plaque to you.
Now, they came here to thank us. It's only appropriate that we thank you for all the work that you've done. You know, cancer back in the 70s was almost like a death sentence. Now the survival rate is unbelievable. And personally being affected by someone that had cancer, I cannot say enough how the gratitude of all the breakthroughs that they have made. And it takes money to make those breakthroughs. Thank you so much. Okay, we'll continue with city events and announcements. Announcements of upcoming events. Ms. Gonzalez?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. So we have our Tuesday, September 7th through October 12th is the Fall 2021 Adult Cornhole League going on from 6 to 10 p.m. We also have our Adult Kickball League going on, and that will be Sunday, September 12th through Sunday, October 17th. Wednesday, October 6th through Friday, October 8th will be TML Conference, and it will be in Houston this year. On Saturday, October 9th is going to be the Nature Discovery Series, Discover a Bug's World. It will be at Crescent Bend Nature Park from 10 to 11. And the Texas Master Naturalist Volunteers will be there. And classes begin at 10, but arrive early and meet at the first parking lot near the restroom building and the trailhead. You have to pre-register on Schertz.com. Monday, October 11th, city offices will be closed for Columbus Day. Tuesday, October 12th. We'll be back here for our next regularly scheduled city council meeting at 6. And then finally, on Tuesday, November 2nd, the city of Schertz will be holding its general election for the purpose of electing council members in place 6 and place 7 for a 3-year term from November 2021 to November 2024. A special bond election will also be held on November 2nd for or against the issuance of not to exceed $15.45 million of the City of Schertz, Texas general obligation bonds for public safety facilities, including a new fire station, and the levying of a tax and payment thereof. Early voting by personal appearance will begin on October 18th and ends on October 29th. Early voting locations will be posted on schertz.com. Thank you.
Okay, announcements and recognitions by our city manager, Dr. Brown.
So I just have one announcement tonight, Mayor and Council, and that is that the construction on Elbell Road will begin next week. And so this is a project that's going to last probably 3 months, October, November, and December, if the weather holds for us. And so this weekend, you'll see them starting to put out some traffic cones, et cetera, for that project. And it will be what we call mill and overlay, a new covering of asphalt on that street. And so, you know, people have said, well, why are you doing this now during the school year? And you know, we can't always predict when our plans will get done and when our, you know, our construction schedules and those kinds of things, those factors. We have the money now, and so we felt like it was best to go ahead and do the project now. We'll work with the school district. We're already coordinating with them. They're well aware of our plans, and so we'll try to make it as easy for them as we possibly can. So just wanted to let everyone know that.
Thank you, Dr. Brown. I just want to stress also your patience will be needed on Elbell Road between 8 and 10, and also between 2 and 4. Like Dr. Brown said, it needs to be accomplished, and there's no, you know, time is always, there's no perfect time, and the sooner we do it, the better it is for our community. Thank you, Dr. Brown, for that announcement. All right, we'll continue with the hearing the residents. This time is set aside for any person who wishes to address the city council. Each person is limited to 3 minutes, and we ask before addressing the council, for the record, please state your name and address. Mayor Pro Tem Dalla, please call our first speaker.
First person we have signed up this evening is Kevin Kirk.
Hello, my name is Kevin Kirk. Thank you for your time. This month, my name is Kevin Kirk. I am a leadership student at Kunju Masul of Schertz. This month, we went to compete in Floresville. As we move into October, we support the Alamo Breast Cancer Foundation. This month of, in the month of October, every Saturday is gonna have free women's self-defense classes. I have flyers if you would like to see. This Saturday, instructors, students, parents, they will be riding from the Kunju Masul of Schertz Martial Arts School all the way to Fredericksburg. And if you would, and this is also for the Alamo Breast Cancer Foundation. If you would like to sponsor us, please contact us at 210-264-4498. This Friday, there's going to be an obstacle course from 5:30 to 6. It is open to the public. In order to compete in the obstacle course, you would have to donate items for the Schertz Animal Shelter. In closing, I would like to talk about the Gutierrez Park and how me, my dad, and the leadership students of Kunjumasul helped make it better. We put up birdhouses, animal hotels, and insect hotels, and different types of flowers that insects and birds like. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. I just want to point out that I met Kevin yesterday and actually thanked him for his involvement in our community and the impact he had on Gutierrez Park with the little birdhouses that they placed there. Thanks again, Kevin, for your contribution to our community. Appreciate it. Mayor Pro Tem, please call the next speaker.
All right, next up, and apologize for any mispronunciation, Maria Gazanis. I'm sorry, what was that? Sure. Come on up.
Good evening, and thank you all for having us. My name is Maria Galanis. I live at 2308 Thomas Wolfe, and this is Marty Kotanen.
Ma'am, can you just speak into the microphone? It's harder to hear.
320 Thomas Wolfe.
I'm sorry? Okay, I'm not loud enough for you? Okay. Okay, we are here representing our households for the reason to report damage that has occurred since the reconstruction of Schertz Parkway. As you all know, it's, I think, our third or fourth attempt at this point to repair the damages on Schertz Parkway. We live on Thomas Wolfe, as we stated, in the Jonas Woods neighborhood, which is right parallel where the major part of that reconstruction occurred. That new road, unfortunately, since the original reconstruction, is very rigid. The rigidness of that road has caused our homes to rattle constantly. I don't know if anybody else in our neighborhood has brought this to your attention or not, but Marty and I felt like it was time to come and get this on record. For the past year or longer, however it's been long it's been since that reconstruction occurred, the damage has been steadily appearing. Personally, in my house, the ceiling has started to fall in. Every day I find pieces on my living room floor. Additionally, the large commercial trucks, which I believe Marty has reported at some point, I believe to your office, sir, those rumble going up and down Schertz Parkway, or that area of Schertz Parkway, and things like fall off the walls. That's how bad that road is. That's how much the rumble is. So we're here to report damage to our homes and ask for guidance on how the city would like to proceed. We don't know what the process is for this type of thing, so we were advised to just come to a meeting and get it on record. So. Oh, absolutely.
I'd like to state something. I spoke with Mr. Brown here, I guess about a month ago. I called you, and I told you about the 18-wheelers going up and down that road. It wasn't you. I spoke to a city manager, I know. But anyway, he said he was going to look into it, and nothing has been done. We still see 18-wheelers going up and down that road. And at one end of Schertz, down by the railroad track, there's a load limit sign. I believe anything over 15,000 pounds is restricted on that road. Sure, they can come into Arlen's, but they got to go back out the same way. What they're doing, they're making a shortcut to go over to Amazon or go to O'Reilly Auto Parts and get a backhaul for the backhaul loads. And that's what's tearing up our roads. It's just too much. I got numerous cracks in my house. And it's just within the last year that they put this new road in.
Thank you.
We are the only two that have come tonight. I know our other neighbors have the same issues, but they work and weren't able to come tonight. So what's the process for this, or how shall we proceed?
This is just a hearing the residents. There's not we don't have a two-way conversation at this point. You brought up the issues to our attention, and we will probably circle back also.
Okay, so somebody will be in contact with us?
Yes.
We should leave our name and numbers then with somebody?
Yes, if you can just provide Mr. James your name and address and phone numbers.
Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you all for hearing us out.
Thank you for listening to us.
That's all we have tonight.
All right, then we'll move on to consent agenda items. Consent agenda items are considered self-explanatory, and information packets are provided to council and available for public viewing. These items require no separate discussion unless requested by council. Item number 1, the approval of the minutes of our regular meeting on September 14th, 2021. Item number 2, resolution number 21R100. A resolution by the City Council of the City of Schertz, Texas, authorizing a trail easement agreement with Cibolo Valley Baptist Church for a segment of the Greater Northern Trail. Item number 3, canceling the October 5th, 2021, November 2nd, 2021, November 23rd, 2021, and December 28th, 2021 City Council meetings due to the Texas Municipal League Conference in Houston, the City of Schertz elections, Thanksgiving week, and Christmas holiday week, as well as scheduling a special meeting on November 15th, 2021 for the purpose of canvassing the results of the November 2nd, 2021 election. Item number 4, resolution number 21R105. A resolution by the City Council of the City of Schertz, Texas, authorizing a contract with Intermountain Surly Sealed Incorporated related to the 2020 Spam Resurfacing Project and authorizing the budget expenditures for the project. Item number 5, resolution number 21R101. A resolution by the City Council of the City of Schertz, Texas, authorizing EMS debt revenue adjustments, utility billing debt revenue adjustments, and the Schertz Magazine debt revenue adjustments for certain inactive outstanding receivables and other matters in connection therewith. Mayor Pro Tem, will you please read the following?
Item number 6, resolution number 21-R-110, a resolution by the City Council of the City of Schertz, Texas, updating the fee schedule for fiscal year 2021-22 and other matters in connection therewith. Item number 7, resolution number 21-R-99, a resolution by the City Council of the City of Schertz, Texas, authorizing expenditures in excess of $50,000 with T.F. Harper and Associates, a by-board purchasing cooperative vendor, and authorizing a purchase totaling $110,917.19 for the Ashley Park Playscape and Pavilion. Item number 8, resolution 21-R-88, a resolution by the City Council of the City of Schertz, Texas, authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with the Berry Creek Homeowners Association for the purpose of traffic control and other matters in connection therewith. Item number 9, resolution number 21-R-87, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Schertz, Texas, declaring certain public safety equipment to be surplus property and authorizing a donation agreement covering the same to the City of Santa Clara, Texas, and other matters in connection therewith. Item number 10, resolution number 21-R-109, a resolution by the City Council of the City of Schertz, Texas, authorizing the city manager to sign a contract for mutual aid in fire emergency services between the City of Schertz and the Secretary of the Air Force for mutual aid with Joint Base San Antonio Fire Emergency Services and other matters in connection therewith. Item number 11, resolution number 21-R-53, a resolution by the City Council of the City of Schertz, Texas, authorizing an agreement with the developer of the Homestead Subdivision Project for the reimbursement of costs associated with easement acquisition necessary for public improvements.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Council, do any of these items need to be removed for separate action? Yes, Councilmember Scott?
Yes, I have a question on number 2.
Okay, number 2, we'll remove that one. Any others?
And the one for the Ashley Playscape, I'm not seeing what number that is.
number 7.
7? Yeah.
Okay, number 2 and number 7 have been removed. Any others, council? Okay, is there a motion to approve items number 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, and 11?
So moved.
Okay, motion's been made by Councilmember Whitaker. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Hayward. Council, any other comments? Let's go ahead and call for the vote.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we have 7 ayes, no objection, motion passes. We'll go back to item number 2, resolution number 21R100. A resolution by the City Council of the City of Schertz, Texas, authorizing a trail easement agreement with Cibolo Valley Baptist Church for a segment of the Greater Northern Trail. Ms. Schrum, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor. I can answer any questions.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. On page 26, I see that they're selling it for $10. Is that correct?
Yes, that's common for these agreements to have a $10.
Yeah, I was like, wow, I've got to make sure that's right. That sounds good to me. Also, on page 34, I love the title, by the way, the name of it, The Great Northern Trail. It just strikes such an image. Good job on naming that. On page 34, does the trail connect to the existing trail? The graphic looks like it's just a singular trail on 10 acres, like that's it.
It does not currently connect. It will connect to the planned improvements along FM 1103 that TxDOT's going to put in, the pedestrian improvements, and then I will go back to the Riata Homeowners Association and get another easement to connect to their current trail system.
Okay, when do you anticipate that coming on?
That connection? My goal is to get that done in the next fiscal year.
Okay, as you know, I'm a big fan of the parks and such. And so, Mayor, I would move, unless there's further discussion, I would move to approve, thank you, resolution number 21R100.
Motion's been made to approve resolution 21R100 by Councilmember Scott, second by Councilmember Hayward. Council, any other comments? Let's go ahead and call for the vote.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
We have 7 ayes, no objection, motion passes. We'll move on to item number 7, resolution number 21R99. A resolution by the City Council of the City of Schertz, Texas, authorizing expenditures in excess of $50,000 with T.F. Harper and Associates, a by-board purchasing cooperative vendor, and authorizing the purchase totaling $110,917.19 for the Ashley Parks Playscape and Pavilion. Councilmember Scott, you put this out one. If you have questions.
I do. Is this a new one that's going up, or is it going up where the little monkey bar things are right now? Or I looked on here, I definitely studied it, but I didn't see like this graphic
Right, so
here?
that's an additional component that's being added to what's there now.
Okay.
It'll be incorporated into the existing playscape.
Okay. That's what I was wondering. I thought it was, but I was wondering that. It seems like we're spending a lot of money on Ashley Park. I live in that neighborhood, and I love parks. I'm a big fan. I wanted to see if that was replacing an existing one, because we've done so much on it, and so I didn't want it to be superfluous or to be changing them out too soon before their life cycle. So that was my major concern. I have no further questions, Mayor.
Okay. Council, any other comments? Is there a motion to approve resolution 21R99?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Davis, second by Councilmember Whitaker. Any other comments? Let's go ahead and call for the vote.
Aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
We have 7 ayes, no objection, motion passes. Thank you. All right, we'll move on to item number 12. Ordinance number 21T41. An ordinance by the City Council of the City of Schertz, Texas, authorizing an adjustment to the fiscal year 2020-2021 budget, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict with this ordinance, and providing an effective date. Mr. James, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor. This is the second reading of this ordinance. Normally, you would have it on consent agenda, but one of the things that we noted during last meeting, because it came up after the staff report went out, was in addition to the changes that had been listed with regard to adjustments to cover fire department salaries, to cover increases or shifting money for new water meters to utility billing, is the item to allow the additional, approve the additional expenditures from the sewer impact fee funds. That's to go for the Woman Hollering Creek project. So again, the idea is to amend this year's fiscal budget, which lets you then approve the item later on in the agenda after you also approve, or assuming you approve, the item with the debt reimbursement. So again, this is a budget adjustment to fund the Woman Hollering Creek project that's coming up.
Thank you. Council, any comments? No comments. Is there a motion to approve ordinance 21T41?
So moved.
Okay, motion's been made by Councilmember Brown, second by Councilmember Hayward. Council, any other comments? Let's go ahead and call for the vote.
Aye.
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 We have 7 ayes, no objection, motion passes. Thank you, Mr. James. We'll move on to item number 13, resolution number 21R111. A resolution related to establishing the city's intent to reimburse itself for the prior lawful expenditures of funds related to the construction, various city improvements, and the proceeds of tax-exempt obligations to be used by the city for authorized purposes, authorizing other matters, incidents, and related thereto, and providing an effective date. Mr. James, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor. As I noted with the last item, this item basically, the local government code allows us, the Texas government code allows cities to, if they sort of make clear that we're going to reimburse ourselves from bonds, that they can do that. But they have to do that in advance. You can't come back later and say, oh, we decided after the fact we want to do it. So this item is a resolution where you acknowledge and make clear that the plan is to reimburse ourselves for the part of the Woman Hollering Creek project, $2.2 million, with bonds. So this allows us to move this project forward now. When we come back in later, we can then issue the bonds to cover that. It does not obligate us to issue that debt. It just allows us to be able to reimburse ourselves that way.
Okay, council, questions?
Mayor, I move that City Council adopt a reimbursement resolution.
Second.
Okay, there was an adoption for resolution 21R111 made by Councilmember Scott, second by Councilmember Brown. Council, any other comments? Let's go ahead and call for the vote.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
We have 7 ayes, no objection, motion passes. We'll move on to item number 14, resolution number 21R106. A resolution by the City Council of the City of Schertz, Texas, authorizing a contract with All Construction Company Incorporated for construction of the Woman Hollering Creek wastewater project and other matters in connection therewith. Ms. Woodley, you have the floor.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. We're extremely excited to finally be bringing this project together to you for construction contract. Now you've approved the funding for it. The funding will cover the construction. Also, the next item, I'll kind of talk about both of them and you can act separately, but the next item is for some owner's representative services, some inspections and contract administration assistance for this project. We'll also be bringing in the next week or so, I guess October, at your next meeting, a contract for materials testing services associated with this. And then we'll ultimately be following up with expenditures to bring power to the lift station site on I-10. So all of those things together are what we needed the full funding for this project. We've been working on it for a number of years. I think most of you are familiar with it. Most of you have been with us as we slogged through getting the easements that we needed and getting the system designed. And I gave a background in the CCM for anyone who hasn't been there then. So I don't have a full presentation, but I wanted to make sure that any of your questions are answered. You're going to start seeing updates on the construction, and we're just super excited to get this underway. It's a huge, huge contract for the city and very exciting improvements in Southern Schertz.
Thank you, Ms. Woodley. Council, questions? Yes, Mayor Pro Tem Dalla?
Really, just one question is, assuming we approve this tonight, when do we anticipate construction to start, and when do we expect it to be online?
I would expect the construction would start within the next 2 to 3 months. By the time we coordinate with the contractor and they get mobilized to the site, get materials on the way, that sort of thing. But we haven't met with them yet, so we don't have a notice to proceed date yet. They did submit a construction schedule with their proposal, and it was for the 12 months that we anticipated. I certainly think that it would be wise to expect that it may go somewhat longer than that. Plan for the best, hope for the worst. But there is quite a bit of pressure to get this thing done. The CCMA plant is essentially complete. We need to get them flowed. The Woman Hollering package plant is nearing capacity. We've got some serious concerns about that. So we're going to do everything we can to move it along as quickly as possible.
I think the biggest issue is going to be materials, but that's a whole nother ball of wax. Mayor, with your indulgence, I'll make a motion that we approve Resolution 21-R-106.
Second. Yes. Okay. We have a motion by Councilmember Dalla and second by Councilmember Scagliola. Councilmember Scott, you had questions?
Sir. My question was, this is not my jurisdiction. Is this a good amount for a lift station, $11 million?
It is in line with, in fact, somewhat lower than our engineer's estimate of construction costs that we went into the request for proposals with. Okay. The bids were competitive. They did range to up to $18 million, so there was a massive range, but generally speaking, there were 3 or 4 that were in the more expected amounts.
And on page 209, I saw that you were recommending accepting bid base, alternate 1, and alternate 2, and rejecting alternate 3. Is that the one you're referring to that was cost prohibitive? Because I didn't see the bids on here, but I know that's y'all's thing.
Yes, the alternate 3 was $2 million. And just based on the availability of funding, the fact that we're having to sell more bonds just to get enough to do the base bid.
Yeah.
And it's not an absolute certainty that that larger force main will be necessary.
Okay.
So while comparing it,
Thank you, sir.
how much it would cost to build it today versus how much it would cost to build it at the time that it will be necessary, it may be quite a bit more expensive then, but we're recommending that we wait.
Okay. And then I did like the way that you specified where the funding was coming from with the fiscal impact, and I agree. I don't know if somebody down there said it or not, but we've had this discussion before how the cost of materials is going to go up, and especially as this growth continues unmitigated in the area. And I just wanted to well, of course, I know y'all do due diligence, but that's our job to oversee it too. So thank you for answering those questions. I'm good, Mayor. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay. Dr. Brown, you had some comments?
Yeah, so the package plant, the Woman Hollering package plant, is that going to stay online after
No.
this? We're scheduled to take that completely offline.
That goes away. The Sedona lift station will go away. Flow that goes to that right now by gravity will be picked up by this main, sent down to this larger lift station that we're going to build, and then over to the CCMA plant. And so,
Council, any other comments? Is there, motion was made by Councilmember Dolan, second by Councilmember Scagliola. No other comments? Let's go ahead and call for the vote.
Aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
We have 7 ayes, no objection, motion passes. We'll move on to item number 15, resolution number 21R107, a resolution by the City Council of the City of Schertz, Texas, authorizing a contract with AGCM Incorporated for the owner's representative service related to the Woman Hollering Creek wastewater project and other matters in connection therewith. Ms. Woodley?
yes, so we do have representatives from AGCM with us this evening. They're one of our on-call owners rep services firms, and they have actually done some of the inspections and contract administration services for the pedestrian routes and trails project, and they've done a great job with that. Marcus is actually the same inspector who will be working on this project. It really will be essentially a full-time job, and we don't have the staff resources to take care of that. So this gives us the expertise that we will be able to use for the project and also learn from. I'm really excited for us to be able to learn from their work on a contract of this size and scope. So that'll be sort of an added benefit of having them perform these services.
Council, comments? Is there a motion to approve resolution number 21R107?
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion by Councilmember Davis, second by Councilmember Hayward. No other comments? Let's go ahead and call for the vote.
Aye.
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 We have 7 ayes, no objection, motion passes.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. We'll go on with our roll call confirmation. Our Assistant City Secretary, Sheila Edmondson, will provide the roll call confirmation for consent agenda items number 1, 3 through 6, 8 through 11, and discussion items number 2, 7, and 12 through 15. Ms. Edmondson?
Thank you, Mayor. Consent items, again, item 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, and 11. The motion was made by Council Member Whitaker, seconded by Council Member Hayward. Mayor Pro Tem Dolly, Council Member Scott, Davis, Whitaker, Scagliola, Hayward, and Brown all voted yes. Motion passed 7-0. Item number 2, Resolution 21R100. The motion was made by Council Member Scott, seconded by Council Member Hayward. Mayor Pro Tem Dolly, Council Member Davis, Scott, Whitaker, Scagliola, Hayward, and Brown all voted yes. Motion passed 7-0. Item number 7, Resolution 21R99. The motion was made by Council Member Davis, seconded by Council Member Whitaker. Mayor Pro Tem Dolly, Council Members Davis, Scott, Whitaker, Scagliola, Hayward, and Brown all voted yes. Motion passed 7-0. Item number 12, Ordinance 21T41 on final reading. The motion was made by Council Member Brown, seconded by Council Member Hayward. Mayor Pro Tem Dolly, Council Members Davis, Scott, Whitaker, Scagliola, Hayward, and Brown all voted yes. Motion passed 7-0. Item number 13, Resolution 21R111. The motion was made by Council Member Scott, seconded by Council Member Brown. Mayor Pro Tem Dolly, Council Members Davis, Scott, Whitaker, Scagliola, Hayward, and Brown all voted yes. Motion passed 7-0. Item number 14, Resolution 21R106. The motion was made by Mayor Pro Tem Dolly, seconded by Council Member Scagliola. Mayor Pro Tem Dolly, Council Members Davis, Scott, Whitaker, Scagliola, Hayward, and Brown all voted yes. The motion passed 7-0. Item number 15, Resolution 21R107. The motion was made by Councilmember Davis, seconded by Councilmember Hayward. Mayor Pro Tem Dolly, Councilmembers Davis, Scott, Whitaker, Scagliola, Hayward, and Brown all voted yes. Motion passed 7-0.
Thank you, Ms. Edmondson. All right, we'll move on to a workshop. We have a workshop. Our city staff is recommending to renovate the Borkfield facility, and the staff will provide us a presentation concerning the proposed plan. Mr. Kelm, you have the floor.
Good evening, council. How are y'all doing tonight? Good, I hope. If I can figure this out. There we go. Perfect. So I'm excited to bring this opportunity. As you know, we've been on a path to build our facilities, capabilities within the city, and as you're gracious, you've given us an electrician, an HVAC, you've approved a plumber for this coming year, and so we've really got a team that's coming together, and one of the things we want to work on next is rehabbing or improving some of our existing facilities to expand both capacity and capability within our facilities. And so tonight we're going to start with the Borkfield building renovation or recommendation. This was a facility that was built in 1992 for our animal shelter at the time. It is a steel beam building. It's off of Borkfield 3009. In 2014, we built a new animal shelter, and we removed the facilities and services over here off of Community Circle. And since that time, this facility has sat vacant, but this is off of Borkfield, right there next to the Kongjung Academy from Kevin spoke tonight. That's where it's at. This is a front picture of the facade. Again, it is a steel building with a brick veneer facade on the front of it, just to give you an idea. And so why are we looking to renovate facilities or looking for additional space? In 2017, we did a facility master plan based on the growth. We have extreme amount of space shortage, specifically in administrative space. We have about 30,000 square feet in shortage. We have officers that are filling out reports in the hallways. We have employees who are hot bunking in desks because they don't have enough space. We're about to do 2 significant renovations, building 10 and 1, and so potentially need swing space for those employees as we take those facilities down, renovate the space, and bring those up. And so we're really looking for additional space throughout the city and trying to minimize our expenditures. So in this facility, this is what we're talking about. I know it's hard to read, but this is the office area of the old facility, and it's circled to the left are the old kennels. That is space is not being considered for renovation at this time, but we could do that in the future for either storage space or additional administrative space. So the steel frame of the facility is in good shape. Our proposal is to remove and replace existing insulation, sheetrock, HVAC, and electrical down to the metal studs, and then bring it back up, include 2 ADA restrooms, male and female, and then replace the information technology so that we have connectivity throughout the facility. This is the proposal in renovating the space. Again, it provides 5 individual offices with workspace up to 10 individual workstations throughout the facility. It provides us an additional 2,400 square feet of administrative space that we can use either for swing space or for permanent assignment. We do have several different positions within the city that would enjoy this space. So the estimated cost is about $63,000. That's $26 a square foot, roughly. The demo would be about $2,400 with in-house labor. Then to replace the sheetrock and paint, the HVAC, electrical, plumbing again, and the IT. And then that also puts access control, so we can use the swipe access. If we went with a keyed option, it would only be $500. So new construction is about $300 a square foot, or to replace this facility in like with a new facility is about $600,000. So we think this is a great opportunity to showcase the talent, provide some additional space for our city employees, and reutilize space that we currently have. And so our recommendation is with our in-house team to replace it, or to renovate it, I should say, with our current budget, our operations and maintenance, and this has always been our intent to direct more of these types to our O&M budget. It's in there now, and then continue to look for other additional low-cost options to provide additional administrative space as we go forward. So Any questions, comment?
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Kelm. Councilmember Whitaker.
What is the space being used for currently?
It's sitting vacant currently right now.
Sounds like a great plan.
Councilmember Brown.
Yeah, I think it's great that we're going to be doing something like this and reutilizing space at a very budget-friendly price point. I'm a little bit concerned about how we're dispersing the employees throughout the city. You know, how's the connectivity and you know, the just being spread out like that? I mean, span of control.
Right, so the connectivity for them, an IT perspective, we'll have that in place, so that'll be seamless. And then in the expanding the employees, we'd work with the different departments who have that capability. One of the concerns with facilities, the facilities team itself would like to have gone in there, but where they're co-located with Public Works, it makes more sense there. So a couple of the organizations that we're looking at, one is the PD investigations potentially, could go over there. That way they can do their thing. We've also looked at the victim liaison, so that if a victim doesn't have to go to PD headquarters, they could go over there, so that it's kind of a isolated private type meeting. Things like that, we'd be very sensitive to those type of organizations.
Okay, well, that's kind of what I was getting at, is, you know, making sure that we're putting the right people over there versus just, I want to be someplace new.
Yeah, right functions. Yes, sir.
Mayor Pro Tem Dalla.
Councilmember Brown said basically my same thoughts on that is, you know, long-term, you know, what were we looking at putting in there and how appropriate would it be due to the fact that it's kind of out there by itself and, you know, like Councilman Brown said, command and control.
Yes, sir, and so we do have some functions that are dispersed, but we would be, you know, be very sensitive to that.
Councilmember Scagliola.
Yeah, I'm just rather impressed that you want to take this on in-house. 160 hours of work, that's 4 weeks.
So what is good about this project is that it's relatively low risk. And so we can manage existing work orders with our current team, potentially if there's some training opportunities as we do cross-skill training, and we can kind of manage the time, the renovation schedule with the in-house, right? And so that's why we wanted to do this project first, so that we could do that, because this is a new capability for the city, or at least city staff.
It is. I watched this old house quite often. And, you know, it's amazing how the simple things seem to take forever. You know, definitely, if you guys can pull this off, or your personnel can pull this off, I think some type of incentive and bonuses are in order. So I'm not saying you can't do it, but you hats off to you if you do.
Thanks,
and no, hats off to you when you do.
When we do it. I have full faith and confidence in our team. They are an amazing team, so.
Council, any other comments?
No, we just have very little space to flex anywhere in the city, and this will help us, particularly in the police department, I think, you know.
Definitely.
We need to find summer hall office space. So, I mean, we have these needs in certain strategic spots in the city. I'm sorry. You know, we have these needs in the city with certain strategic spots, Summer Hall, for example, and, you know, there's some others, but we just have very little ability to flex, and this will give us some more flexibility, so.
Yeah, especially at the cost. You know, compared to the cost of the new building, yeah, this is just 10% of what it would cost, and I think that it's a lot of work, but
less than a new fully equipped police car.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. I think you know, we got thumbs up.
Thank y'all very much. We'll take care of it.
Okay, we have one last item. Item number 17 is our monthly update on major projects in progress, our capital improvement projects. Information packets have been provided to council and available for public viewing at our homepage, Schertz.com. With that, we'll continue with requests and announcements. Any further announcements from our city manager, Dr. Brown?
Nothing further, Mayor.
Council, any possible updates or information requested from staff?
Yeah, Mayor, if you don't mind, you know, referencing the cancellation of National Night Out by the city, you know, quite frankly, I consider that a little bit perplexing and somewhat unacceptable, and I have told the mayor that. Just for the record, I'm available if an HOA wants to have a city official come by. I've done up to 5 at a time. But the thing is, it isn't about me. This event honors our men and women in blue. And there is no doubt that our community backs the blue. And at the very least, a drive-by of flashing lights would send a compelling message that the motivation and desire to protect and serve is alive and well within the city of Schertz. Now, I hate to get up on my soapbox because it sounds like I'm preaching, but this is kind of personal to me. I see absolutely no reason for the cancellation, and please reconsider. Post it out there. Let social media know that the city of Schertz is open for business, or at the very least, make it voluntary. That's all I have.
Your comments are duly noted. Thank you. Okay, Council, any?
It's Dr. Scaglio.
I not only concur, I concur wholeheartedly, and I want to say, sorry, new subject. The construction on Elbel, man, it would have been so good if we had Schertz Parkway done, because it's already in loggerheads in the morning, and I cannot imagine coming down Schertz Parkway in rush hour, if someone's going left, it's a light cycle or two, and if Elbel's out too, man, it's going to be pretty stunning. I just wish that those two could have been staggered somehow.
Well, the Schertz Parkway is scheduled to be done at the end of this week, so that should be
Thank you.
that should be complete and opened up. So we were sensitive to that, and I should have said that. Thank you.
Yeah, and Live Oak would be also on the final stages also.
Great, thank you.
Any other comments? Okay, any possible items you'd like to place on our future agenda? Okay, announcements by council members. Mayor Pro Tem Dalla?
No events attended, but I would also add on to the fact that I agree with Dr. Scagliola's comments, and if there's any HOAs that do want to send out an invitation, I'll be happy to attend as well.
Okay. Councilmember Davis?
Nothing tonight, sir.
Councilmember Scott?
Not at this time.
Councilmember Whitaker?
This morning, I was part of a group of city officials and staff that did the tour of the new Amazon distribution center, which was really fascinating, very efficient and interesting process. I attended coffee with the chamber, also ribbon cutting at the community gardens in the Crossvine, which is a really nice, in case any Crossvine residents are interested. The garden plots are free for the first year, so take advantage of that. Subcommittee meeting on PDD standards, et cetera, which Councilman Dalla did attend this week, so he did have an item on the list. Chamber Civic Leader Luncheon was, I believe, last week. Great to see some of our local folks out there getting to meet people as this election season is underway. San Antonio Food Bank food distribution was a couple weekends ago, so that was a neat opportunity to be a part of that. Another efficiently run process, and great to see so many people volunteering, and they do that on a regular basis, so it was great to be a part of that. And then I did attend as a not committee member, but in the audience, the Main Street Committee meeting, which was also very interesting to partake in. And as for National Night Out, I intend to be out in my own HOA, hopefully. And again, you know, if any other HOAs are wanting to invite or having fun, let me know.
Okay. Councilmember Scagliola.
Yeah, I went to the chamber luncheon last week, the Amazon tour this morning. It was really wonderful. We can repurpose that facility out there. And what an amazing operation it truly is. And then the joint P&Z committee, we're making progress. We actually came to a couple items of consensus. That's all I have.
Councilmember Hayward.
Yes, I was at the Main Street Committee meeting. I did the Civic Leaders Luncheon. I did the ribbon cutting at Zipliner's Kitchen. Food is amazing. You should stop by there and get something to eat. The desserts are even more tastier, but I have to cut back since I'm on keto. But it was good. There was a ribbon cutting at the Cross Vines. It was a community garden. They actually used the butter blocks for the raised bed. Absolutely amazing. They already had signs out there and had things planted. It was a really good event, and it was cool because they had a tent out there to keep us warm. Keep us cool. Did the TMRS Zoom board meeting, and we're looking forward to getting together again, and we're changing the status in which we meet as opposed to once a quarter. We can meet up to once a month if needed because we want to make changes to some of the retirees' benefits, and we've got a plan for that because the legislators are the ones that will pass the bill for us to allow to change some of the benefits, which I think some of them will be a good addition to retiree benefits. I did coffee with the chamber, and that was a cool thing. I also did something a little bit out of the ordinary for City Council, but I went to a Conventions of States meeting up in Seguin. It was very informative on, our Constitution and what we can do and how we support that. Also, the other thing is October 1st is the National Medicine Abuse Awareness Month. It is because of teenagers, about 20% of them actually misuse prescription medication, and so parents be aware of that. They also have about 5% of the teenagers actually abusing over-the-counter cough medicine. So just a little awareness for you to be out there when you're watching your kids. And as far as the Guadalupe County Coalition, we'll be losing Amy Alstead as our coalition coordinator. They have a COVID grant now from the state of Texas where they're looking into areas where there are mental disparities, and so they're going to be trying to do a grant for that to put things in different areas, and it's going to be in 6 counties, and we're included in one of those processes, but they don't get a lot of money. They're only getting about $200,000 for the grant. And then since we're losing her, her job will be open for anyone that wants a full-time position as a coalition coordinator with the San Antonio Council of Alcohol and Drug Awareness, since it's mostly for, in this area, teens because of the grant. Look for it on the San Antonio Council and Alcohol Awareness website, because they will be posting it tomorrow because we need a new coalition leader. That is all.
Councilmember Brown.
Civic Leaders Lunch, always good, and that's about it this week. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. The time is now 7:22. We stand adjourned.